What's happening, folks? Welcome back to Celtic Fans TV. It is starting 11 prediction time once again for tomorrow's game at home against Ross County. This is the second last home game before the split. To use the old cliche, it is the business end of the season. There's only 8 league matches to go, and this is as big as any. Ross County are in good form. I expect this to be a tough game for us. I think the first 2 meetings against Ross County this season will tell you how tough tomorrow is going to be. We had the 3-0 win at Celtic Park earlier in the season, but if you remember that game, it was really tight. We didn't get the breakthrough until Cameron Carter-Vickers deflected shot for about 25 yards, and then we went on to win it comfortably in the end, but we were laboured that day. And of course, the big standout last-minute moment of the season, Anthony Ralston's 96th minute winner in the Highlands. So this will be tough for us. We come into it off the back of that 3-0 victory against Dundee United in the Scottish Cup on Monday. I was there at Tannadice. It was a good performance. I think it was professional. It was difficult for the team to be at their fluent best on that surface, but I thought we'd done really well to navigate the tie, win it comfortably without some big players, missing Jota and Abada on Monday night. So great to get the victory and to secure that place in the semi-finals. So as I mentioned already, Ross County are one of the form teams in the league right now. If you think back to the start of the season, they were languishing near the bottom of the table, but Malky Mackay has turned it round. They are in the top 6. They're currently sitting 6th on 36 points. They have won their last 3 league matches. So they're in good form, and as I mentioned before, we've already had 2 relatively tough games against them this season, so I don't expect tomorrow to be easy at all. It's not one of these games you look at in the run-in and you just chalk up 3 points. We're going to have to work for it, and I expect a good performance tomorrow because I think we'll need one if we're to get all 3 points. We've seen these home games recently be very stuffy against all sorts of opponents from across the league, so we can't think it's going to be easy tomorrow. It won't be. It will be tough, and we will need a good performance to secure the 3 points. This is obviously the last game before the international break as well. So on the return, it is that massive game at Ibrox. So an opportunity to go 6 clear tomorrow before Rangers play Dundee on Sunday. That's a massive opportunity for us. It's one we've got to take just to apply that wee bit of pressure to Rangers going to Dundee. I know Dundee are really, really struggling right now, but we've got to do all we can, go 6 points clear, just apply that wee bit of pressure and ensure that it will be at least a 3-point gap going into that game at Ibrox. So we'll start in goals then with Joe Hart. Another game, as I say, during the week that he didn't really have a save to make. The team in front of him are defending really, really well. Dundee United, albeit poor in the final third on Monday night, but it's still a credit to the team. The intensity they're pressing the ball with, the organisation and the shape of the team out of possession, the spacing of the defenders, the centre-halves in particular, really, really strong. He's getting the fruits of that by not having many saves to make. A few maybe dodgy passes, but that was to be expected on the surface, as I say. And the back 4 from the other night, I expect to continue. That'll be Taylor at left back. It will be that centre-half pairing of Starfelt and Carter-Vickers. And on the right-hand side, I think Juranovic will start there as well. Juranovic was excellent the other night. Cruised through the game, I thought. Really, really good performance from him. Again, it might not surprise you to see Ralston come into this game. I mentioned before that the manager seems comfortable chopping and changing between those two. And I wouldn't be surprised to see that tomorrow, but I'm just going to opt for Juranovic. And in terms of the centre-halves, both of them terrific. Again, a bit of debate about whether we should pay the £6 million for Carter-Vickers, as I've talked about before. The question being, could we go and get a better centre-half for £6 million? Let me know your thoughts on that in the comments below, and it's one I'll maybe discuss with the guys this weekend. I think Carter-Vickers has been excellent, and Starfelt alongside him as well. Those two, I think I read during the week, they've restricted opponents in the league to the least amount of shots faced by a Celtic team since 2015. You think about that, there's been some good teams in there. So those two have been integral to that, but it's also, again, highlighting the work of the whole team without the ball. In midfield, I expect McGregor to play in the deep position again. I think he was really good the other night, Callum McGregor. I was maybe a wee bit unfair with the 7 that I gave him in the player ratings, but there's no doubt he's so important for us, so good on the ball. and really, really brave. There's lots of opinions about what a captain is, but one of the big things for me, certainly nowadays, and probably always, let's be fair, is taking the ball under pressure. And Callum McGregor takes the ball in all circumstances, and he's really, really composed playing under pressure. So he's massive for us in that position of the pitch. In front of him, I think Rio Hatate will start. I know he came off at half-time the other night. Wasn't his best 45 minutes. He showed some glimpses of brilliance, but then the final ball let him down, and he had one or two really slack passes as well. But I think he will start. David Turnbull obviously back in training. I think the manager confirmed today that he's been training with the group for a wee while now and could maybe have made the Dundee United bench, or the bench against Dundee United on Monday. So he'll be back in the squad, I fully expect. He's not going to start though. He's been out for 3 months now, so he's going to have to work back into the team and get his sharpness back up before he can start again. But I think tomorrow he'll definitely be on the bench, and that's a good option for us to have Turnbull back. Some good assists, some good goals, good numbers from Turnbull in that first half of the season. And again, it just helps us add that bit more depth, give the manager a different option. I think in midfield recently, with O'Reilly and Vogic and Hatate's form maybe dipping, you've been looking for something different in terms of attacking midfielders. David Turnbull is that. We've seen Beaton come in and McGregor move up one, but I think Turnbull gives another option there, and I'm looking forward to having him back in the fold. I think alongside Hatate it will be Matt O'Reilly tomorrow. That's the same midfield from Monday night. I thought O'Reilly was really, really good, showing a good bit of fight without the ball, strong in tackles, which is needed in those games. And even in his passing, he was much, much better. He was another one that after that start against Hearts and against Rangers, his form maybe took a wee bit of a dip, but he's certainly looking better just now in that game on Monday night. I thought he was the pick of the bunch for me, so I think he'll keep his place based on that. And on the right-hand side, we were missing Leo Abada at Tannadice. The manager confirmed today James Forrest's out. You could see Forrest during that game at Tannadice holding his hamstring. These niggling injuries for James Forrest just don't go away. It's been such a long period of time now. You're talking 2 years where James Forrest has just been unable to shake off injury. That's a problem for a winger. It's a problem for a winger at his age. And it does speak to the fact that we can't really rely on James Forrest physically to be fit and to get to a level of match sharpness and have a run of games, because these niggling injuries just keep coming back. So that is a big problem, and it's something we might need to address in the summer. But Abada, I expect to come back in tomorrow. The manager said him and Jota have trained all week after the Dundee United game, so he'll come back in. On the right-hand side, that'll be huge for us. He's been a big player this season, there's no doubt about that. Again, like I mentioned with Turnbull, his numbers are really good in terms of goals, in terms of assists. Another one that maybe had a little dip recently, but he's a big player for us, and I expect him to come back into the starting lineup tomorrow. On the left-hand side, this is a tough one. I really don't know what the manager's going to do. Jota had been out, so we could see Maeda go to the left-hand side and keep Giakoumakis through the middle. I'm going to go for Jota though. I think if Jota's fit, you need to play him. He has had a few games out at different times this season with injury, Jota. But I think it was nothing major that made him miss the Dundee United game, and I expect that he'll come straight back in. He's a huge player for us. The bench is looking stronger now. I suppose if you went with Maeda on the left and Giakoumakis through the middle, then having Jota on the bench would make that even stronger. But I think we need to play number one as close to the team at Ibrox in this game as we want to, and we need to start the strongest team that we can, and Jota is part of that. So I'm going to go Jota on the left-hand side and Dyson Maeda through the middle. Now that might seem harsh on Giakoumakis. He did get 2 goals on Monday night, even though after the game, by the way, in the player ratings, I gave the goal to Dembele. I didn't have a great view at Tannadice, or maybe I was just willing Dembele to score it, but it was really hard to tell, seeing it once live, that Giakoumakis got the slightest of touches to guide it in. So 2 goals. I thought his all-round performance wasn't terrific. I think that's something that we just need to get used to with him. He is a good penalty box striker. I know that's a cliche, but in these areas, he seems to have a knack of being in the right place at the right time and putting the ball in the net, and that is a great thing. It's a great thing for a striker. But I think in terms of the strikers that we've seen lead the line for Celtic this season, Kyogo being the main man in that position. He has a lot more strings to his bow, and I think outside the box, Giakoumakis at times looks a bit rough. His touch at times isn't what it maybe should be, and that's good in some ways because you have different qualities from different players, and it means that we can change it up. But I just think Maeda will play from the start tomorrow. Giakoumakis again an option off the bench. Kyogo out running yesterday in training. Hopefully he's not too far away. You would certainly think if he's doing that physical work again, will it be on his own and joining the group soon, hopefully, then he'll be back fit and available for that game at Ibrox. Now, since he's been out for so long, I don't expect him to start the game at Ibrox, but just to be back on the bench would be a huge boost for us. I've went with Maeda through the middle tomorrow. As I say, debate that in the comments. Who do you think will start through the middle? Will it be Giakoumakis? Will it be Maeda? Will it be both? Will Maeda go to the left, Giakoumakis to the middle, Jota on the bench? You can let us know in the comments section below. But that's the team that I think the manager will pick tomorrow. Another huge game, 8 to go. 3 points is an absolute must for us tomorrow. Like this video, as I say, comment with your own thoughts below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And we'll see you tomorrow outside of the stadium with all the full-time reaction. Cheers.